Hey folks, paste. How do I pin? I don't know how to pin a comment. How do I pin it? Oh, there we go. Hey, so I woke up today, feeling compelled to, share a little something that I know that a lot of people are struggling with, and I mean 15 million people, more than 15 million people are struggling with it, but I also want to start, like I write poetry, and I know that my platform allows me to touch a lot of people's lives that I don't even realize. So I figure, well, I want to help people, and I have a lot of ways to do that, and poetry is one thing that helps me in my hardship. So I want to start sharing that more, and it's nerve-wracking because it's putting myself out there, but I also know that people it can help a lot of people. So I wrote this poem. I think I wrote this poem about maybe at the beginning of the year. And I want to start sharing my poetry with you guys and calling it This Is Me For You, because if I'm going to help people, I have to put myself out there in some shape or form, because that's what art is all about, sees. But I wrote this poem about probably in the beginning of the year, and it has to do with alcoholism. I have alcoholism on both sides of my family. That's part of why I live a very sober lifestyle. So when people are like, "Are you high? Are you drunk?" and I say, "No, I'm not high, I'm not drunk. It's literally me." It's because I have an addictive personality, and I have immediate connections to alcoholism. So that's why I live the way I do. But I wanted to share this poem, and then I'll talk about it after. Sitting, thinking, reminiscing on the times you treated me like I was another one of your beers. Chugging and chugging and chugging, taking and taking and taking, intoxicating yourself with my poison that you so desperately love and crave. Drowning yourself in your sorrows and, oh shoot. Oh my gosh, see, I'm so nervous. This is like, it's scary. Okay, I'm just gonna read it. Sitting here, thinking, reminiscing on the times you treated me like I was another one of your beers. Chugging and chugging and chugging, taking and taking and taking, intoxicating you with my poison that you so desperately love and crave. Drowning you in your sorrows and unfinished childhood business, numbing your heart's pieces that were never mended. I'm your addiction, but I am not who you love. So just a little look into my life. I know how it feels to be in a very hostile household. Not only due to alcoholism, but other parts, little branches of the tree. And I wrote, two things. I wrote that poem from two different perspectives. The perspective of a child of an alcoholic. So, thinking, reminiscing on times you treated me like one of your beers. So I'm not your child, I am an object. And that's what living in a household of an alcoholic feels like. You don't feel human. You feel like you're just always tense, and you're always on edge, and you give a lot of yourself to the person with the bad habit. You don't really have any energy to give yourself. But also the perspective of the beer itself, that, not that this person with this bad habit loves you any less. He or she loves you, but they're just obsessed with this thing that they think that they need, and they can't face certain demons that are inside them. So instead they numb it with this poison, because they'd rather feel nothing than feel something. So that poem, the very end, it says, "I'm your addiction, but I am not who you love." That does not mean that the person does not love you. That just is saying, from the beer's perspective, like, if I were a beer can, I'm your addiction, I'm not who you love. And I just woke up today compelled to share it, because more than according to Talbot Recovery, more than 15 million people in the U.S. struggle with alcoholism, and less than 8% are treated. And part of the reason why less than 8% are treated is because the disease goes unrecognized or denied, or people don't know what is alcoholism and what makes someone an alcoholic. If you or your loved one drinks excessively, and if their drinking habits cause friction in the family, they have alcoholism. They are an alcoholic. And it's super important to recognize that and admit it and get help, because alcoholism doesn't just affect the person with the addiction, it affects the family as well. And it's super important to get help. And the thing is, rehabilitation is super intimidating. Nobody would want to, go out of their comfort zone and go into a facility where it's super strict. To those who do struggle with alcoholism, you don't need to automatically go to a very intimidating rehabilitation facility. You can go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings where people like you are struggling with the same struggle. And to the family members, they have Al-Anon meetings where family members and loved ones of alcoholics meet up in undisclosed places. I copied the link so that you can find out the nearest place near you. My fellow teens, they have teen meetings. And it's oddly super helpful to be around people who are dealing with the same struggle. At first, when I went, I was super nervous because I was like, I don't want to talk about my issues, I don't want to. Who wants to talk about their issues around other people? But it's super comforting and super helpful, and it's super necessary to talk about it, because 1 and 2, I was researching it today because I felt I was really affected by it when I don't even, but I started researching it, and 1 and 2 women who are of childbearing age drink, and 18% of them binge. 60% of men were reported this is all in the U.S., so I don't know globally, but in the U.S., 60% of men were reported last year to have been drinking, and 23% binge. So this is something that affects so many people. times two, because it's not just the person with the addiction that it affects the family. I have people who, I've been affected by alcoholism. I have friends who have been affected by alcoholism. It's something that is super damaging, and just it makes people live in fear and anger, and it's awful. But I wanted to share my poem, and I wanted to shed light on that little piece of me, because too many people are struggling with it, and I felt like if I put myself out there, maybe somebody could feel a little bit of comfort knowing that I've dealt with it too. And then I can, you can go to an Al-Anon meeting, you can go to an AA meeting. It's super helpful. And the link that I pinned is actually, it leads to Al-Anon, it leads to Alateen, and something else. But yeah, so yeah, I opened up my Bible right before I came on here, and the thing that came up was, wisdom reposes in the heart of the discerning, and even among fools she lets herself be known. So I was supposed to do this today, and yes, and just before I go, or maybe I'll stay on a little bit longer to talk to folks, but know that if you are the child of an alcoholic, know that it's not that your father or mother doesn't love you, or that he or she loves the alcohol more. It's just he or she is coping with something that it is coping in an unhealthy way to something that they've never dealt with face to face, and it's just unfortunate that you're the side effect of that. You just have to learn to detach yourself and learn that you are not the problem. Anything that he or she says when they're drunk is BS. And you are not nothing. You're not nothing. You're not the problem. They're the problem. The beer is the problem. But you can't fix them. You can't. There's literally nothing you can do. They have to fix themselves. So, I just wanted to go on and say that. And, I guess, yeah, thinking, reminiscing about the times you treated me like another one of your beers. Chugging and chugging and chugging. Taking and taking and taking. Intoxicating you with my poison that you so desperately love and crave. Drowning you in your sorrows and your unfinished childhood business. Numbing your heart's pieces that were never mended. I am your addiction, but I am not who you love. Yeah. The beer is his or her addiction, not who he or she loves. So, there's a little, that is me for you. I hope that you caught some wisdom from that. I feel a lot better. I was real nervous. I was so nervous. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jesus. Wow. Whew. I was scared to do that. Now I feel better. I guess I'll go through all of these. First time watching live stream. Cool, nice to see you. I saw an Airbnb. What? let's see. I don't know. There are so many comments. I was talking for a long time. Wow. Yeah. I don't really feel, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah. If you're a family member of an alcoholic, check out the link I pinned, and yeah, I'll be doing this more often. I want to do this I'm gonna make every Sunday. Well, I don't even know. I gotta figure it out. But I'm gonna call this Is Me for You, where I share my poetry and thoughts about things that are necessary. So, have a great day. Well, I feel like actually, yeah. I'll stay and discuss. Let's discuss this, fam. Let's discuss. Because I can't just like preach that and just like bounce. Well, can I? Okay. Yeah, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do, once the more I do this. But for now, I'll wrap it up, and I hope you gained something from this, and have a blessed day or night wherever you are in the world.